It's Emil. It's Emil Guillermo. Emil Amok to you. Welcome to my Takeout, my Emil Amok's Takeout, my takes on all things considerable. Professor Dan will be joining us in a second. We'll talk about our last show. We recorded on Saturday. We didn't really know everything about the Preddy case. We didn't see all the angles. Now we have more angles. We got more video, and we got the administration sort of retreating, but not retreating. A lot to talk about. A lot has happened. But first, let me just say thank you if you were in the streaming audience for my show, which took place on Monday, the 26th. I'm doing my show 69 Emil Amok. A real journalist stands up. It's my one-man show on dealing with Trump derangement syndrome. I mean, it's the story of our times, right? And I do it differently every time because he does something different every time that we need to react to. It's all there. The next show is February 2nd at 8:30 p.m. And you can, let me show you where you can go and get tickets if you're watching. Go to playground-sf.vvotickets.com and you can find my listing. Look, the show's free with donation, and you can donate as much as you'd like, anywhere from nothing, which makes it truly free, to $30 or more. You don't have to be like the Emir of Qatar, who is giving me a $400 million jet plane. Okay, he's giving that to Trump. He's giving me a bus transfer. All right, he's not giving me a jet plane. But, in an ideal world, I would get a jet plane also. But you could just give your blessing and say, let me in, right? And you can watch it streaming wherever you are, Texas, Washington, New York, wherever, Mexico, Philippines, or you can come to the theater. The theater is on 1695 18th Street in San Francisco, in Potrero Hill, a nice, lovely neighborhood, Potrero Hill. If you don't know Potrero Hill, get to know it. I mean, a lot of people discovered it because it's one of the few. I wouldn't say it's an inexpensive. It was discoverable back 40 years. It's just that if you've never been there, the views from that part of the city are just phenomenal, and of course it's above all that China Basin stuff, right? So you're getting a different side of the city, a view that is incredible. Anyway, Potrero Hill, I grew up here in San Francisco. Potrero Hill was always that place that we went to play Jackson Playground. Us Dolores Parkers would play Jackson Playground. And sometimes we'd win and sometimes we'd lose. But it was always great because the Folgers coffee place was right there. And you can smell coffee. The smell of coffee. Also, the old Anchor Steam breweries out there. Anyway, Potrero Hill's a lovely place. The Potrero Stage Theater. For my show, 69 Emil Amok, a real journalist stands up. I deal with my Trump derangement syndrome. February 2nd, it's a Monday, 8:30 p.m. February 7th, it's a Saturday at 2:30 p.m. The 49ers aren't in the Super Bowl, so come be a 69er. Come be a 69er with me. Yeah, fun show. We had some good reviews wherever I've done this show, in Canada. This, I guess, is the first time I've done it in San Francisco or in the United States. I'm doing it in Fresno. I'm doing it in a couple other places throughout the year. But come see it now in its current form, because we are right in the thick of it with Minnesota. We are right in the Venezuela. It's all happening now. And like every time I do this show, something happens. Like I did it in Fresno last year, and the Oval Office thing blew up. Zelensky and Trump beaten up with J.D. Vance on Zelensky. I do it in Canada, and the Epstein files, that blows up in Trump's face. I do it in Vancouver. Charlie Kirk is assassinated. I do it here now in San Francisco, and you got Minnesota. You got the state-sponsored terrorism in Minnesota going out of control, and Trump on the run. on the ropes. I guess that's debatable. I don't think he's given much space. He's taken Bovino out, but this guy Homan, he does not inspire confidence. And then what else happened? And then, of course, you had Venezuela. I'm doing this show when all that's happening. So come see the show, 69 Emil Amok, February 2nd at 8:30 p.m., February 7th at 2:30 p.m. at the Potrero stage. Go online, get your tickets. You can also stream it live for a small donation. It's all free. It's all free. I do it, my art, public service, but please support if you can. All right, so we do this show, Emil Amok's Takeout, and I do this every now and then. Most times when it's really important, I bring on Professor Daniel Phil Gonzalez. He's my friend, my partner in crime here on these days when we talk about the news. And he's not available. We can't see his face. We can't see his smiling face today. But Dan, we can hear your voice.
Can you?
We can hear it. And you pulse every time you talk. You pulse. So this is like not exactly an AI version. We're replicating AI, but behind the initials DPG is a real person. But
Yeah.
For the purposes of our show,
I have to
you're AI.
apologize to your audience. I couldn't figure out what was wrong with the camera. It's my standard camera setup, and for some reason, it's being uncooperative. I can hear it trying to open the lens, but it fails. It sticks somewhere in between, so it has something to do with the lens.
Not necessary to explain. We see a pulsing DPG, and for the purposes of this show, it is our version of AI on Emil Amok's Takeout. So,
okay.
All right. So look, Dan, the last time we talked, we did our show. We recorded it on Saturday morning. We didn't have everything in on Preddy, not all the angles, not all the analysis. But later on, it came out Saturday, and then I was stuck in that big snowstorm in New York. I got out. Thank goodness I got out by being a good Asian American and getting to the airport at 4 a.m. in the morning for a 7 o'clock flight. Yeah. And it was eerie. That's the best time to be there. I was the first one at TSA, and they still found an excuse to pat me down. I think
but you smile every time they do that. And
I'm just saying.
Look, I'm a law-abiding phone number and
I'm a law-abiding citizen, Dan.
I was with you one time. You said, "Oh, do you come here often?"
That is not true. All right, Dan. Look here. I made it. The point is, I made it, and I flew over the United States, over Minnesota. Even we went over the storm, and I looked down. And it's all white. It's all America is all white. And
that's the way they want it.
That's the point of it all.
That's the way they want it. They want it.
So all right, but with Preddy, I mean, I actually, I did not see the blow by blow analysis, with the woman in the orange bag. But ultimately, you see Preddy on the ground, the ICE agents, the Border Patrol folks, removing the gun from his waistband. Okay, he was carrying a gun. He was licensed to carry it.
Yeah.
He was unarmed. He was pepper sprayed. And then you hear the first of 10 shots. And overkill, right?
Yeah. Especially when they backed away and then shot some more.
Yeah.
They actually backed away. After the first 5 shots, they backed away and shot him some more.
So this is like the American public has been used to this sort of analysis. We had the Renee Good, video, another 37-year-old in Minnesota who was essentially executed by the police state, and now and before, people of a certain age. You remember the Zapruder film? We're looking at the Zapruder film, JFK trying to figure out what the heck happened. And there's nothing. All right, we see with our eyes, but according to the administration, it's not conclusive. Finally, they say we're gonna have an investigation. Donald Trump pulls Bovino pulls Kristi Noem with Kristi Noem, who said, "Hey, he was brandishing a weapon. He was not brandishing a weapon. Preddy was not brandishing a weapon." And in the official report, that is excised from the report. And now we have Tom Homan. So do you feel more confident that Tom Homan is in?
Rhetorical question, but we should explain it for the audience. Yeah, Tom Homan was the gentleman who, and I use the term very broadly, who was the enforcer and the creator of the first term Trump term policy of family separation. That's the guy. And so to replace Bovino, who was stupid enough to say things that were absolutely contradicted by the video, okay, along with Kristi Noem, also her statements absolutely contradicted by the video. Stephen Miller's statements absolutely contradicted by the video. J.D. Vance's statements absolutely contradicted by the video. And now for the Orange Man, the President of the United States, absolutely contradicted by the video. So the pressure now is really extreme from the people of Minnesota. It's very strong. It could get stronger, okay? And I we'll talk about that in a minute. But as well, there are many Republican senators now that are also being very critical, and at the least 5 are calling for an independent investigation, which is something that, of course, the DOJ has resisted. So that involves Pam Bondi as well as the Attorney General of these United States of America. There we are.
So, yeah, I mean, the other day, an investigation, I want an honest investigation that I oversee, that he said, and we really need an independent one.
Yes, and Holman seems to be leaning in that direction. He had a meeting with yesterday with the mayor of Minneapolis, Mayor Frey, and as well as Governor Walz. But Governor Walz and Mayor Frey were not all that positive. They said, okay, it was a discussion about real issues, but they weren't. They didn't walk away, and neither did they explain that they had a great confidence that things were going to change. What they both said was, we have to see what happens on the ground. We have to see whether or not there's an actual withdrawal. We have to see, from my perspective, I want to see an immediate change in behavior of the people on the ground, whoever they are.
Yeah, they haven't really shown that, and I think that's really the key. That even Homan, despite trying to be nice with those meetings, he said again today in that press conference that, hey, we're not retreating. We're not going back. We're going to prioritize the criminals, but we're not going to let, just anyone go. So it's I'm sure he's saying that because of the president, but I don't, until we see the actions or until we see it with our own eyes, I think it's, we've replaced the heads. Bovino's gone. Noem is sort of in the background now, but Homan he makes it sound more gangsterish and more tough than, and knowing that he's been accused of accepting a $50,000 bribe, he's not the most ethical nor the most trustworthy person, out there. So,
but he's been able to avoid actual prosecution.
That's true.
And I don't want to say anything that sounds like I'm that much in his favor. His credibility comes from the fact that he's actually done law enforcement as a career.
Right. Oh, also, look, let's also say that he worked with, in the Obama administration. So, he's
presidents. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's kind of a.
In fact, I think he got an award of some sort of honorific treatment.
Yeah, well, someone's got to do the dirty work, even for the Democrats, and he was it. So, I mean, Obama deported a lot of people, and he had the right kind of you know, bulldog and Homan out there for him, and but Homan's not necessarily the most ethical guy out there. That's my only point, and so we'll see how he does. He's at least somebody that a lot of people, a lot of leaders on both Democrats and the Republican side trust. They trust Homan will,
Yeah.
won't go cowboy and rogue like
What do
Bobino.
you think about that though? I mean, they have said things that sounded more hopeful. You know that
Yeah,
I think the Democrats said, well, at least he's more professional. They
yeah,
they stopped short of saying he's more ethical, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because we know he's not. Well, I just think that all right, we're wait and see, but at the same time, I I think in the aftermath of last Saturday, I think people are more emboldened and they know that they've got to stand up, and they have a sense, the people have a sense that they're winning, and regardless of if we can definitively say Trump and the administration is in retreat, that there's a change, but are they in retreat? We know that the people feel their power and they're out there, and that's good. We need that to happen peacefully, non-violently, but the people have to be out there.
Absolutely, absolutely. We should spend a little time talking about that. I mean, the force is gathering and the anger is rising,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to convert the anger, right,
Mm-hmm.
to a specific plan of action, and that specific plan of action has mentioned. Uh, well, they already did it. They did a 1 day general strike.
General strike, yeah.
And if you'll recall, last year when we did our discussion at the San Francisco Public Library at the main branch,
Mm-hmm.
which was nicely attended. We I mentioned general strike. I
Yeah.
was asked, where we should go, and it was general strike at the commemoration. I forgot which. I think it's the 56th or something like that. Maybe 57th or 50th commemoration of the San Francisco State strike. We do a thing because the strike started on November 6th of 68,
Mm-hmm.
and so what would that make it? Yeah, it was the 58th, and there was the mention of the general strike by one of the strikers, Steve Seltzer, who used to have a regular show featured on KPFA, a local station, independent station, for years. And he said general strike, and the whole room erupted and said, that's what we need now. I mean, several people said that's exactly what we need now. So people on the left, and particularly unions, okay,
Yeah.
which have experienced a resurgence thanks to the experience, well, the problems that they've encountered under the Trump administration, both Trump 1 and Trump 2. I was very confused. How did you feel about the fact that during Trump 1, there were several large unions that supported Trump?
Yeah, well, I thought that was very strange, and I thought that was a split that Trump sought. Divide and conquer, right? It sort of worked, but I think it's coming back, especially when the economy isn't coming back. Today, Donald Trump at that cabinet meeting kept talking about affordability. How the crisis is over, right? He kept saying, no more affordability problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a lie. So repeat the lie. This is a very Goebbels like technique. Repeat a lie and it becomes a truth in people's heads. But the affordability crisis is still there. So
Yep.
I think that what you're saying though, general strike, in things that I've read, where people talk about how do you deal with a lawless and lying, government. How do you deal with state-sponsored terrorism? General strike is one of those things, and it could be one day they announced another No Kings March for next month. I think people are getting around to thinking, yeah, it's okay to stand up, and the people are winning. It works, and so as long as they see these incremental gains that turn into bigger gains, I think we'll see people standing up and being emboldened. And even a Fox News poll today said 60% of the public are against these kind of tactics that the government is using, to enforce immigration, and a full 71% of independents. And these are all like double-digit increases since the last time they took these polls. This is a Fox poll, so this is the thing that the administration is responding to. Well, I guess we got to pull back, and I guess we'll have to see how much of a pullback it is, because they haven't figured out a way to withdraw troops or withdraw forces. And what is the conditional, right? The Homan says we'll withdraw personnel if we get access to the prisons, which is against sanctuary principles, right? They want access. The feds want to cross the line and get access into state and local incarceration facilities. And then there's also the whole idea about having access to voter rolls, using that as a enticement,
which
right?
was an extortive request, if I can put it that way. Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi, the Attorney General of the United States of America, is saying, well, if you want us to loosen up on Minnesota, turn over your voting rolls. This is really incredible, right? This kind of behavior would be singly enough reason to impeach her, right? Under any circumstance. This is it. And I think you're going to see more senators move in that direction. The problem is, I don't think until the election in November, there's any chance that the impeachment process, which has to originate in the lower house, right. Would go forward. But the Democrats might want to threaten it anyway.
They need the numbers, and they might get them in the midterms. But when you start grabbing voter rolls now, the big fear is not the midterms, but what kind of impact it might have.
28.
28. And because we got 3 more years of this.
Maybe not.
Maybe. Well, the thing is, when will Congress stand up and say we are equal partners in this in governing the United States? When will they stand up and say, Article 1, it's not total?
Only if the Democrats take both houses. And even if they do they have the cojones? Do they have literally the Constitution? The courage, to do what needs to be done. I mean, they will have the power. If they take both houses, they will clearly have the power to do what needs to be done. Full persecution and prosecution of everybody who have committed constitutionally forbidden acts, both civil and criminal. We're talking about criminal behavior by people in high office, and they are not protected in the manner that the president is protected.
Right. And I wonder if they know that the president has immunity, but these underlings who have given so much and have stated publicly they're ready to do whatever they need to please not the Constitution, but to please one man. I mean, I revisited the Kristi Noem book where she shoots her dog Cricket, who was a female puppy. So I guess it's not really a full bitch, but it was a female puppy, and who wouldn't do what she wanted to do. So she shot and killed the Cricket did some things to somebody's chicken coop, and that was the last straw for Kristi Noem. But what the relevant point is, Kristi Noem used that as an example to show people, to show America, that she was willing to do whatever she needed, willing to do whatever, no matter how, repulsive, no matter how, uncompassionate, she was willing to do whatever. And you know what? She has shown that. she has shown that cricket story people should revisit that in her memoir because she's doing exactly that, and she hasn't been kicked out. She hasn't been booted out by Trump. She's now no longer the face, which means maybe she can spend less on Botox than she is. But she's no longer the face of this project. But maybe she'll take a step back, like Pam Bondi has taken a step, and she's only inserts herself every now and then. But I don't know.
Tulsi Gabbard, until the raid on Atlanta yesterday, Tulsi Gabbard, right?
Yeah.
Basically disappeared.
Yeah, well, I think she has limited power, and it's like, look, there's no place like Washington where the term boss means something. Maybe in gangster land, but in Washington, a boss is a boss, and if the boss says, right, if the boss says jump, you say how high, right? And if the boss says don't jump, you just go off in your corner and twiddle your thumbs. And that's Tulsi Gabbard now, except now he needs her or wants her. But, the Democrat on the Intelligence Committee is saying, hey, if she's going to Georgia because there's a possibility that there might be some kind of intel breach or foreign thing going on, she's got to share that with her members of the committee, and she's pulling in Article 1, hey, this is for the boss. Boss is, he's supreme. We don't share with anybody. It's kind of, this is America, and we need Congress to step up, stand up. Maybe they will on Friday. What's going to happen on the vote on the shutdown of the government, where ICE is a major issue?
Well, the Democrats have moved forward with the suggestion, and I think Thune was open to this, separating the ICE funding from the rest of the budget, so that and that would be the best compromise, in my opinion. That would be the best compromise.
Well, Padilla was on television today saying that here are the demands. They want unmasked ICE. They want end to the roving bans. They want a little more order. They might
want
get
ID.
that.
They want the people to be ID'd.
Yeah.
They need to have a number or a name and what branch of the freaking government they belong to. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think the Democrats aren't going to be strong enough to shut down the government. But if we have one, I think that would be actually maybe a good thing.
I would too. I agree.
Yeah,
I think it would be much shorter term. I think the public image of the Republicans has already been hurt. And this would just make, more injurious, more damaging to them. And, the thing that I'm really offended by is that the general media has latched on to the politics of this moment for Democrats, the party politics for this moment, for Democrats versus Republicans. And to me, that's kind of sickening, because the reality is, as you intimated earlier, it's about morality and ethics. Okay, these things are clearly immoral. They're unethical. We have a Christian right that continues to support these kinds of measures. I don't even know how they can call themselves Christian.
Okay? Yeah. Well, look. Yeah, the Catholics are coming on strong, saying, how can we support? They even went after J.D. Vance. How can we support such actions from the president of the United States as Catholics? I mean, I think that was pretty surprising. We got the one of the bishops of of Newark coming out.
Yeah, that's right. Was he a bishop? There was a cardinal too.
Maybe it's cardinal. I'm sorry, maybe a cardinal.
Yeah, he's going to be ticked that you demoted him, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's a cardinal. I just think that it's about time that men and women of faith, stand up to what's going on, because the moral leadership is a powerful thing when it comes from these institutions outside of government. And so far, up until just the last couple of days, people have been quiet. and we can't have that kind of that kind of silence. Uh, so Dan, we have, you talk about the separation of the funding. People don't realize how much ICE has been funded
Yeah,
because of that big beautiful bill.
yep,
$75 billion. When it
that's right.
happened,
That's
when it
correct.
happened in the summer, I said 75 billion. You're bringing up ICE to FBI status. I mean,
Beyond,
equal
I
level.
think that's higher than
Oh
the
yeah, yeah.
FBI.
Well, because it was starting from scratch essentially, but they're essentially saying FBI, which used to be this, you know, everyone has mixed opinions about the FBI because they've crossed the line. But in the end, I think on balance, you see the FBI as good guys, not as bad guys. But
Well, ever since Hoover was taken out,
yeah,
yeah,
oh yeah, yeah. Well, I just
okay,
know that uh,
and
there have been
that didn't happen until the 70s,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Then the FBI was busy, and one of the reasons their reputation, let's say, improved somewhat.
hmm
They were always seen as heroes from the right. You know,
yeah,
that- and all the way up to and including the early 70s. But the Hoover fight with the Kennedys
hmm
began an erosion, right, of the right conservative inclinations of the FBI as an institution. And then they actually started. Uh, they had already always been investigating extreme right wing groups, but that increased during the late 70s and 80s because there was clearly a threat coming from those extreme groups of violence, destructive violence. And earlier on, all the way up until the early 70s, the FBI was going after extreme left groups, like the Weather Underground,
$1 billion.
for example. And
Oh, hey, you got cut off, Dan. So,
okay, yeah, the
but
Weather
that's all right.
Underground.
Just
The
just
FBI
sum
had
up
been
about
going
the
after the
FBI.
left, particularly groups like the Black Panther Party, the Brown
Yeah,
Berets, college radicals. The last time we talked, I said, they were busy taking our pictures and making a record of them. Also, they were
yeah,
busy filing very false, and very, very much falsified so-called documentation on a lot of the leading radicals, who I have interviewed over the years. Over about the past 20 years, I've interviewed a lot of the people who were also strikers like myself,
yeah.
and I've asked them about their FOIA reports, and we
Yeah.
went through them,
Oh
and they
yeah.
said this stuff is entirely faked.
Well, yeah. Look, Carlos Bulason had a big FBI file, right?
Yeah,
The
that's right.
writer, the Filipino writer, Bulason.
Well,
Hey, here's the
he
thing.
was a socialist, and he was a member of a union which was being prosecuted, as a revolutionary, right,
Yeah.
organization that was pro-communist, and there were indeed some communists and some socialists in the
But
union leadership.
here's the bigger point about ICE getting 75 billion. This, from that big beautiful bill. Maybe the intent isn't just to go after uh, immigrants, but to create an almost, like good guy, bad guy kind of thing. You have two agencies, and at the disposal of a president who is willing to use it to create state-sponsored terrorism. It's actually kind of, you know, he got away with it.
Oh yeah,
He got the bill through, and we're living with it now. So I'm not saying defund ICE, but you got to reconstitute ICE,
yeah.
and maybe ICE doesn't need $75 billion to do the kind of things that it should be doing in terms of immigration law, as opposed to, summarily executing people on the streets. I mean, that doesn't sound like a proper, use of their talents. All
Uh,
right, so
yeah.
Dan, uh, we talked about you say that maybe there's a positive. What's a positive thing you're saying? Name
Oh
it.
well, there are senators who are being very critical. I mean,
Yeah.
strongly critical
Right.
of Mr. Trump directly. I mean, they are pointed directly at him, and not only on the issue of ICE, they're
Yeah.
also critical of. Did you see the hearing
Oh yeah.
yesterday? You watch any part of the
Venezuela.
hearing? Yeah, with of course
Rubio.
Marco. Yeah, trying to answer for Venezuela. They cooked him. I mean, he was cooked. He was skewered, and he had terrible rationale
Yeah.
for what they did in Venezuela.
The thing about all this is that all this is happening. Venezuela, we got Minnesota. Um, some people say, oh, they're just distractions. So the real thing must be something in those Epstein files. And yesterday, Ghislaine Maxwell said there should be 25 people, who should have been, jailed and convicted along with Epstein and her. And she's ready to talk. We don't hear
Well,
a
that's
lot
really
about that.
interesting, isn't it? That's really interesting, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
earlier on, what did she say? She said that that was all fake and that he was wrongly convicted, and that was
Yeah.
rigged and everything else. Now all of a sudden, there's wait a minute, there's 25 other people that should
25 others. Yeah, they got deals. We didn't get a deal. So I think that there's something there. Trump wants to keep her quiet. He'll pardon her, right, at some point, as long as. But who's going to and Trump has immunity, so he doesn't have to worry about getting pardoned, except maybe maybe by the next guy. I don't know, J.D. Vance.
No, he'll just say, "Well, pardon me."
Yeah, and so pardon himself.
Yeah.
All right, so look, let's say I think we went through all our lists. We talked about seeing Padilla, who's on some of the shows today. Oh, Melania has her new movie out. Are you going to the red carpet opening of Melania, the documentary?
Did you hear that they had advanced sales and stuff all over the world, in one place in England, and then also in Australia, and they sold one ticket as of yesterday. One ticket, man. And Amazon is on the hook for, like, if you do their marketing and their production costs, like almost $100 million. It's about 80 something million, right?
Yeah. Well, 40 for production, about 35 for PR
Marketing.
and all that.
Marketing,
so
yeah.
Anywhere from 80 to 100 million.
Yeah.
Look. As a performer, not a.
You want to see the Melania. If you're curious about Melania, you want to go online and look for the early dark era of Melania.
Yeah. Hey,
That's
look,
where you want to go.
There is nothing. I find nothing interesting about Melania Trump, except she does have the president's ear, and among other things, and she's influential. But this is a vanity project, right? She's the executive producer. She's nothing goes through without, it's not going to be honest. It's all going to be, I'm Melania. I don't know.
Yeah. But see, okay, it's one thing for us to be laughing at this and being critical of it, and especially expressing some joy over the fact that people ain't gonna go see this thing, right? I think that even people on the right, okay, really don't give a crap, right?
Yeah.
They don't really care about her. She's eye candy, and most people think she's not that smart. So
No.
what the hell's the interest? Why would you be interested in her?
Look, Dan, honestly, Melania is immigrant rights from a Trump perspective, right? This is how the good immigrants behave. You behave like Melania. You do everything the president asks, and you get your own $80 million documentary, and then you just go hide in the corner.
During Trump 1, at the pro-immigrant, anti-immigrant policy rallies, right? I remember
Mhm.
one woman that had a sign, was the best sign I think of all, and it said, "If it wasn't for immigration, you know, Trump would have far fewer wives."
Oh yeah, yeah. He'd have to. I don't even think there's a Filipino mail order bride who'd go with him. I
Oh wait, no, no, don't go there. Don't go
hey, all right,
there.
hey. Speaking of Filipinos, though, um,
Jonathan Ross.
yeah,
He,
Jonathan Ross. I've seen a lot of things on the internet saying, "Oh, this is why white guys go with Filipinas and why Filipinos go with white guys." Maybe not too far from the truth, right? I mean, but they're in it. That's an arranged marriage, right? It
yeah,
is it love? Is it they want citizenship? I don't know. This is a complex thing. It's been going on in the Filipino community for for ages, right?
right.
And I was going to go to the Preti as a nurse and all the nurses. Where are all the Filipino nurses on this? I think the nurses union, um,
Yep,
they're they're supporting Preti,
yep,
but um, I was just surprised. He probably had a soft spot in his heart for Filipino nurses. They're all his colleagues, right?
yep.
So I
Yeah, but
think people have
and
to be in support
yeah,
of
but yeah, Filipino. It's not just the nurses.
yeah.
It's not just the nurses, but there is a. I'm not going to call it conservative because that confuses people. You know, they'll
Hmm.
be thinking I'm talking about Republicans, and I'm not.
Hmm.
But if they're immigrants, Filipino professionals tend not to want to be seen politically. Okay, they may have
Yeah.
personal political positions. They may
Right.
favor, one party over another. Generally speaking, they do tend to favor Democrats over Republicans. But the people who are Republicans and who tended to be Trump supporters around Trump
Hmm.
won,
Hmm.
they're still there. You
Yeah.
know,
Hey, on the point about not wanting to be seen, I was at the airport at
politically.
yeah, right, politically. I was at JFK, uh, trying to beat the storm, and another passenger was Filipino, who was here. He had the same idea as me: get there first, and we were the first people at the airport. We started talking. He was from Mindanao,
Okay.
and
Ooh.
I was from my parents, my father's from Ilocos, so Marcos, he Duterte, and we kind of laughed at that. And when we talked about the Philippines, he said he was happier that he was here in America because he's professional. Yeah, he and his wife both professionals. He said if we want a steak here, we get a steak, but if we want a steak in the Philippines, can't get a steak. And and then when he found out I was a reporter, he shut up because he did not want to be. He wanted to be invisible, right?
Yep.
To your point,
Yep.
not wanting to be seen politically.
Yep.
But I think now is the time you got to stand up. Now's the time you got to stand up.
Yeah. Well, their experience with government generally ain't the best. You
Well,
know,
that's the truth.
and 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 one of the things that they see now is that American politics it can be just as corrupt as Philippine politics. So
And that's the key thing, corruption, right? As soon as you get to the Philippines, okay, get out a couple of 10s and 20s because you're going to need them, to grease some palms. Maybe it's going to take more than you think. But corruption is a way of life. And corruption was not a way of life in America until this guy. And that's the broader point about, what Trump and the family is doing to monetize the presidency and create this open lane, diamond lane of corruption. And Melania, this $80 million, boondoggle project. What does it show? It shows that if you're a vice president, you can commodify the first lady, the office of the first lady, and make your share of money too. And that's
we'll see.
corrupt.
We'll see about that. Let's see. Let's see if
Well,
they
I
make
mean,
money.
she's been paid,
Yeah,
it
well, they
costs
got
80 million.
the production costs and all that kind of stuff, but the
Yeah.
profit line, I mean, that so that they got their money back, but because Amazon, that because Prime paid for it, but
Well, well, listen, Amazon's paying for it because they want to curry favor. I mean,
yeah, well, yeah,
it's
was
already
disgusted.
the
I was
profit's already
disgusted
done.
by it. I was disgusted by it.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I mean,
know,
the profit's
E-
already
even
there
though
because
even though stuff takes longer, I buy a lot of stuff from local warehouses on Timu.
yeah,
'Cause,
yeah. All
it
right.
takes longer, but it's a. I'm trying to kick Amazon loose, man.
I know what you mean. I'm kind of overly dependent. Hey, listen, before we leave, I like to talk about polls and about how
Oh,
he's.
we got to talk about Gabbard.
Oh, Gabbard. Well, we did. We said that she was there. Why was she there in Georgia? What is her
I don't think we
role?
explained it. I don't think we explained it clearly. Oh yeah, we did. We
We
didn't
did. We
explain it a
talked about
lot.
her
Okay, no,
intelligence.
you're right.
She's in
You're
the
right.
intelligence thing.
We said
That's important.
you got to worry about 28. It's really about nullifying once again, the 2020 election.
Yeah.
So I think people have had it with that. I'm glad they're doing it. I'm actually glad they're doing it because most people are just really tired of it. And let's see how. I know what I wanted to say. Let's see what cost there is to Trump that she's doing this, because this may be done. This may have been done because she was ordered to do it, or she may have decided this would be a good way to try and snuggle up to
Or
Mr.
get back.
Trump,
Yeah, get back in
get
his
back
good
in,
graces.
into
Well, all
good
right.
favors. Yeah.
So when we talked about this, Tulsi Gabbard went to Georgia. She's the head of national intelligence. Why was she there? To oversee or to be part of the raid of the files in Georgia, because Trump cannot give up the idea that he lost. I mean, or he can't accept the idea that he lost the 2020 election. He still feels that there's something in those ballots, and
And
but what?
that's
Yeah.
going to fix the fact that he lost by 7 million votes.
Well, I mean, the thing is, what is Tulsi Gabbard doing there? Except unless there's some kind of link to some kind of foreign malfeasance.
Yeah,
Who
that's
would,
what they're asserting. That's
Yeah.
what they're asserting. They're saying
Yeah.
there was foreign interference. Okay.
Well, who
Now
would-
here's the
who-
laugh part. Here's the laugh riot. Who was it? Whose report said that there was indeed foreign interference in the 2016 election?
who?
The Mueller report.
Oh, the Mueller report. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead. My position is go ahead, do it. Okay, but
Yeah.
they'd be violating states' rights. They'd be violating all kinds of state laws. Okay, and federal law as well. So they're clearly on the edge of tampering with elections. Okay, so don't forget they've done the postmark thing. The red states have gone ahead and reduced the amount of time that people can do early voting. The red states have reduced the number of mail-in vote locations, right? All of that. They've done all of these things before, not to mention the age-old method of shrinking jurisdictions and districts, right? And shifting them around. And okay.
Well,
They've done all of that.
I think when people see Trump so brazenly going, trying to vindicate himself over that 2020 loss, I think people will just say, well, they'll see this as some kind of psychological malady if they haven't yet.
Yeah.
And they'll say this guy is just absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
He doesn't deserve to be the president. This is a not well man.
Yeah.
This guy is not well. All right, so I just want to go. This thing came up, and it's a poll. I love polls. This is a survey by AAPI Data, the AP and NORC Center for Public Affairs. 1,029 respondents, and AAPI adults. They really looked at us, and so I wanted to just talk for a second. Nearly half of the 1,000 respondents cited inflation or the cost of living as a top concern. Just 10% said they are confident the federal government will make progress on major issues. So, I mean, it gives us it gives people a sense of this is Asian American, this is how Asian Americans feel. I think that's right. Most Asian Americans are concerned, just like everyone else, about inflation and affordability.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
they're not confident that the government's going to do anything about it.
my experience,
Yeah.
Asian Americans and Asians generally, new immigrants and all the rest, Asians in Asia,
Yeah.
are very attuned to how far their money's going or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, they're very attuned to that, and so it's not a surprise that poll offered those results. It's just not at all surprising.
Yeah, it's all economics. They said, let's see. While 58% of AAPI adults expect the national economy to worsen in the coming year, fewer, 35%, say their own financial situation will decline. So they're confident they can hang. 45% expect their finances to remain about the same, and 19% anticipate improvement. Lower income households are significantly more likely to expect financial deterioration than those making 100,000.
Which is, well, what do you think about that? I think that shows that they understand their own circumstance.
Yeah.
That they're pragmatists.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's a real, it shows the diversity within the community. We're not all crazy rich Asians. Some of us are crazy poor ones, and poor is defined very broadly. But we're feeling it. Immigration remains a top tier issue. 41% of AAPI adults, but it's split along partisan lines, with AAPI Republicans far more likely than AAPI Democrats to list it as a priority. So the Republicans siding with the president, going after those immigrants. But interesting that,
that also is very telling.
Yeah.
That also is very telling. There were a lot of Filipinos, if we can talk about our own community.
Sure.
There were a lot of Filipinos who sided not only with the president, but who took positions under all of over the past 60 years.
Yeah.
That
40%, I think, the last number I saw.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, it's
over the
big.
years, they clearly, people who are already in the United States had quasi-nativistic attitudes towards TNTs, right? Tago ng tagos, people who, and we don't enter illegally.
Yeah.
We enter legally because it's a hell of a swim, across the ocean.
The TNTs are,
and then their visas expire, and then they overstay. So that's what makes them undocumented. And they're not undocumented. They are, in fact, illegal. Because they're documented.
They got documents. The documents expire. Yeah,
that's right. Exactly.
Well, what's funny is you're right. I mean, there is a split between native-born people like you and me, born to first-generation immigrants, and those who, come later, those who are naturalized, those who are, newer immigrants versus, more established immigrants and their offspring. And it's really I think the reason why there hasn't been the only unity we have is that, we're Filipino. There's, that's something, right? And then we get into, but you're not Filipino enough. I've heard that.
We're not authentic. We're not authentic. And then you have the regional variations, although that doesn't have much meaning in the younger generations. People under 30 or so, they don't really care that much about that. But in the others, it's a big deal which region you're from, and that's very evident in what you cited earlier, with the person that you met, the gentleman that you met at the airport,
Oh, from
was
Mindanao,
from the
yeah.
south, and so
Yeah.
he was Duterte land, and you're from the north, and supposedly, right, at least on your dad's side,
Yeah.
you're a Marcos person, right?
Marcos,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, those differences are real, and sometimes we go in and out. We zoom in when it helps us, we zoom out when it helps us, or it's it's situational.
Okay, I agree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
unfortunately,
it's
it's
the element of pragmatism.
yes, yes, yes. So Dan, I just wanted to get that poll out there because we talk about Asian Americans. Uh, the headline is that Asian Americans are uneasy about what comes next. I think we all are uneasy, and most of us, only 10% think that the government's going to fix anything. So we just move ahead and try to deal with our lives. It's not easy. So Dan, I have to say that after Saturday, when we first talked about Pruddy, I was uncertain what was gonna happen. It was kind of scary. It's it's a little better because Trump is sort of pulled back, but we don't know, as we discussed earlier in the hour, we don't know exactly what that means with Tom Homan in charge, and we're still kind of just waiting and seeing. And in the meantime, people in their locales should uh, band together and take action, some kind of, certainly nonviolent action. Any kind of action is nonviolent, but purposeful nonviolent action, standing up to what they perceive in their community to be happening.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of hopeful now,
Mm-hmm.
and the interesting thing is that for me, the hopefulness comes from the fact that the language being used by Republicans in the Senate, right,
Yeah,
is strong, is much more strident than
yeah,
I expected, and so it shows a willingness to be critical at the least.
yeah.
In some instances, like Tillis, if
Oh
you
yeah,
listen
Tom
carefully to his
Tillis. Yeah,
criticism, when you listen to his criticism, it's not as strong as Toon's criticism. And uh, it's not as strongly based on bad policy as it
mm-hmm.
is just bad behavior. That kind of thing, and
Yeah,
and that's not enough. Talking about the president of the United States as though he's just got a behavioral problem. That's not enough, man.
yeah,
Because as you said, Congress has actually, the other side of your comment is you're saying they got to stand up, right? Well,
yeah,
both parties have allowed the executive to concentrate power, right?
yeah.
Over the past, ever since Nixon, they
Well,
allowed this to happen.
yeah, but this is part of the degradation of the system, right? We had co-equal branches of government, and now we have the strong presidency. We have the strong Article 1 presidency, and no one's pushing back. And so it's time.
And we also have a supplicating Supreme Court.
Oh yeah, yeah. The third branch, the
So
third.
so you in effect, right? They've got all three.
Yeah.
They've got all three branches in
So
effect.
yeah,
You know, so do the Democrats? Okay, do the Democrats have what it takes to push for campaign reform,
oh,
campaign finance
it
reform?
always comes back to that, though. You're right. You're right. And I know you've always been mentioning that, but it's true. Um, you know, to try to
Well, I'm
overturn.
hoping that it takes. I'm hoping that the concept general strike
Yeah.
and campaign finance reform. I'm hoping that if I say it often enough, the people in our audience will take that to their own discussion with neighbors and family or whatever,
Yeah.
and get the point across.
Well,
That's what needs to be done.
well, let's hope. Let's hope. All right, Dan. Look, thank you for being here with us as always. We got AI Daniel Phil Gonzalez.
I kind of like it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, for you look better for me. I mean, yeah, you know, so
Yeah.
I'm not distracting with my white locks
No, but the white locks are
from
good. It's a good contrast. But
yeah,
now we just explain this away as AI, and it's
yeah,
perfect. It's
yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
It's modern.
yeah.
It's modern. All right,
Yeah.
Dan.
Well, you know, people will say that he's not artificially intelligent enough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They'll say that. Yeah. All right, Dan.
All right.
Yeah, take care,
I
man.
really appreciate you calling me
Yeah,
on,
and
and
we'll be in touch
happy Thursday.
we'll be in touch offline. But uh, uh, tell your friends about Emil Amok 69 at Potrero Stage. They can see it. It's by donation, and we'll talk off camera anyway. Thanks, Dan. Take care. There he goes, Daniel Phil Gonzalez, my friend. We usually come on Thursday or Friday. You know, I wanted to give him a boost on Friday to get out. I mean, and then we come on when there's news. Like we talked about Preddy last Saturday before, really as it was happening. We didn't have all we didn't see all the views of all the videos, and it's worse, right? I mean, I hadn't seen the agent take the gun from the waistband of Preddy, so Preddy was unarmed, and people. Some original reports said he was an armed man. Was it the cell phone? Were people reacting to a cell phone? I mean, it's so we come on and we talk about stuff, and a little calmer today, maybe, but not so much. I mean, what is Tom Homan going to do as the border czar takes over in Minneapolis? We'll have to see. Anyway, thank you for joining us. You can catch all of this on YouTube. That's where we put it. Emil Amok's Takeout on my YouTube channel. Subscribe, please subscribe, and then you can also review this wherever you're seeing this on X or Facebook. Use your finger and go back to the beginning. I do want to talk about my show, Emil Amok 69. 69 Emil Amok, same backwards and forwards. How did that happen? I only have 4 shows on. I only have 4 shows of this at the San Francisco Solo Fest. It's run by playgroundsf.org. There's another festival going on at the same time, but this one's at the Potrero stage on 1695 18th Street. My next show is February 2nd, Monday at 8:30 p.m. And then February 7th, the day before Super Bowl at 2:30 p.m. So the 49ers aren't in it, so come be a 69er at my show. Potrero Stage, 1695 18th Street. Get a ticket by going to playground-sf.org/solofest. Get your ticket, pay what you will, donation, come in free. Or if you say, Emil, I love you, but I don't want to go to Potrero Hill. I'll see it live. Okay, stream it. Get a streaming ticket. Pay what you will. Here's the QR code that'll get you to that'll get you to where you have to go. QR code. People love QR. You either love QR codes or you hate QR codes. Stand still, Emil. Stand still. No, there it is. It's a fun show. It's a fun show. People have said it's a fun show. They like my Amok monologues. And this is different from ones you've seen before, because they're different every time, because he does something new every time. So there, come see it, please. It's not like you're buying a ticket to see Melania's documentary. Although, look, I feel for her. That's a certain amount of empathy that I have for Melania Trump. All right. We end with a little meditation, because I am good at the art of doing nothing. And so, as I wish for me, I wish for you. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. And may you live with ease. Emil Guillermo here. Till next time. Mahal Kita.